My roommate and I had just been on a fast and praying about several different things, and when the earthquake happened on the 12th, we began focusing in on praying about Haiti. And I remember one night after our prayer, I think it was a Friday night, I mentioned to her, I wonder if Northland is doing anything, because I had gone with Northland on a team to do disaster relief at the tsunami after that happened. And within about 2 hours, I got a call from John Tardonia, and I knew what the call was about. And it was like God had already prepared my heart, and I knew that, I guess it wasn't a matter of why did I go, it was a matter of why wouldn't I go. After a certain hour, I'm not sure what it is, once the sun goes down, there was a curfew. So we knew we couldn't go to our destination. We had to sleep there at the airport. So it was very chaotic. When we got to the hospital the next day, again, a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion. We had brought a lot of supplies in with us, and just organizing those and putting them in order. That was the first thing that we did, because what was happening is the doctors were needing items, syringes, different items. In the chaos, it was so chaotic in the building. Doctors flying in and looking for something, and they would say this foreign word, I need this medicine, and we'd all just start looking at the boxes and trying to find that medication for them. And we found out later that they were losing patients. Patients were dying because the supplies weren't organized. And that's another thing, when we were opening boxes, doctors would constantly come in and say, do you have a piece of cardboard? And for a while, I didn't get it. I didn't know what that was about. But the cardboard were for the patients to lie on after surgery. But you would walk around the hospital and you would just see, people, opportunities, really, just so many opportunities just to get down on your knees and pray for them, and just love on them. And they were so responsive. I mean, just the joy that you would see in that moment when you could sit down with someone and pray with them was just overwhelming. We would go into their home and we would just pray with them, and immediately, the first time we prayed, they just grabbed me and they said, we hold hands when we pray. And they're very affectionate, loving people. But I remember specifically this one little old lady, she was by herself, and she actually had a mat that she was lying on. And she looked to be probably 85. And sat down with her, myself and another girl, Renee, and just started asking her questions with our interpreter about her condition. She had a lot of medical issues going on. And we asked if we could pray for her. And as we prayed for her, Renee and I both we broke down. And our interpreter, who was interpreting our prayer, he was just broken too. After praying for her, and unknown to us, a medical team had come in from the hospital. So immediately we ran to the doctor. We said, can you go to this lady? Because she had just told us all these medical needs. So he went to her, and this doctor, I don't know his name, he crawled in, he laid down next to her, just started stroking her hair, and he had a stethoscope and he checked her heart. And it was a placebo. He couldn't really do anything for her. But just to see the look on her face, the joy that it brought her, that she got what she needed, or at least what she felt like she needed. And then we did find out that within probably an hour, another team came in, and we didn't know that they were creating these teams, and they brought food and water. So the things that we had found out that the people needed were coming in, like right behind us, which was just beautiful. And since then, they've just continued that, and it's going to continue. Or before we left her, another lady came up with an interpreter, and they said she wants prayer. And we got flooded with people just saying, can you pray for us? Can you pray for us? Can you pray for us? And I really sensed a spirit of joy and gratitude among the Haitians, that they had lost everything, but they had their lives and they had their children. And that was all that mattered. Mostly just activities for the kids, because you had all these children that are just huddled with their parents. They can't go anywhere because the parents are afraid of their kids being abducted. A lot of it was single moms, and they didn't want to leave their children. They wouldn't leave their children to go get food. But as soon as we got back to the camp, we found out that we had to leave because our building was compromised, and they were saying there was another earthquake coming, and the team leader had to make the decision for us to leave, which was a really tough decision because even he didn't want to go. But for the team, he had to make that decision. Now they want all of us that went in on that group and assessed, they want us to go back as leaders of new teams where they're going to have 2 doctors, 2 nurses, 2 counselors, and 2 safety people, and continue this probably for the next 2 years, doing different projects. And it'll be different groups too, because they're going to need construction, and they just need people that are willing to go and love on the Haitians. You don't have to be a nurse or a doctor or a counselor or any of that to go and share Christ's love. I think it's vital that we respond and come in at a time where they are so vulnerable. They are at a place where they are turning to God, and we have a great opportunity right now just to show Christ, not necessarily by going in and evangelizing, Bible beating or anything, but going in and just showing the love of Christ, and any of us can do that.